pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. 2-8 don't face me, now I got my slide. We hunting down snakes, we aim for the hide. Try to jab me, I don't care what you say, cause the people are here and we win either way. Hey yo, shout out to the truckers who be honking on the road, blocking off the bridge even when the weather's cold. Missing out on money, but to them it do not matter. Fighting for their freedom is the reason that they gather. All over the world, anywhere that you can fathom. Ottawa to Paris, no they are not terrorists. Canberra to Vienna, run up a comparison. Trudeau can't stand them, then he try to ban them. Call up an emergency and do it with some urgency, and call up the city police to take away the liberties. But the numbers going strong, you know we never stand alone. We taking back a rest, you better take the story on your phone. Then we go to States, put the stick up on my plane. Ain't gonna show a back sport, you don't wanna ask for it. Then I'll call the truckers and we call it 18-wheeler force. Block it now and no remorse. Australia to hit the source, they calling for the power so that they can come to take your body, your life, to end your mortal strife. Take away the guns, then take away the funds. Hacking at the fundraisers so we know the hell awaits. And really think they're gonna stop it, but they'll never make a profit. No more water in the faucet, cause the workers don't deposit. For the timers doing violence, rebels gotta move in silence till it's time to make it loud. On the streets and in the cloud, get banned, stand up, you know we gotta man up. I ain't gonna little timer try to lock us up. Say we gotta wear a mask while they party in the club. Vax that thing up, or I cannot buy us up. Think the politicians for getting new pay, they pay stub. It's only been a couple years, you know that we are fed up. Truck Trudeau and the same go for Joe. And if you try to lock me down again, then I'ma let it blow. If you try to push the vaccine, I'ma say no. If you think that you're safe, we better run up in your place. We done with the games, we done with the snakes. You better be scared, we'll do what it takes. Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot.
I won't take the vax, no. Fauci is a backhole. Why you even rap, bro? If you ain't spitting facts, though. Fire like the Basco. Sauce check the swag, bro. Then trust anyone on news and a lab coat bars. Why they always grifting for the black votes? TikTok pop star, swear it's all an act, bro. Now they want the truckers in the prison cause they mad, so I'ma make a song that made their next turn. Lassos. Call me rap cowboy. Even as a little DC, I was a loud boy. Spitting racist jokes in the class like a proud boy. Okay, who you kidding? I'm a Gavin this McGinnis when I'm rapping like a tabloid. 9/11 inside job. Michelle's got a real big schlong. Probably like 10-inch long. They probably wanna end this song, but we ain't gonna end this song. No, McDonald's fries kill more people than Corona did. Masked up class suffocating all the COVID kids. Let me take a breath. They're praying on the death. I blame it on the left. Taking who you rep. Jesus Christ is the set. I can see that they upset. Gays go to hell. Why? Cause they have anal sex, that's why.
Patriots pulling up, ain't gonna stop. Hide if you want, cause it's ready or not. We the whole gang and we up on your block. Got the red dot on you, now take the shot. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call on blue, the way you be cluing. Stay awake, not woke, I'm tuned in. Your point of view too far, need to zoom in. Ain't got no facts, you assuming. About to call on blue, the way you be cluing. Have we had enough of your lies for one night? Have we felt enough of our pain to know it's real? How do you feel? Sick and tired of the lies, all I'm feeling is the pain. It's the devil in disguise while I'm standing in the rain. Water pouring from the sky, but you tell me the opposite. Like I don't have a consciousness, like I'm stuck in the matrix and my brain's up for the taking. But we don't do that, I know my facts. They say that he was elected, but where the stats at? They say that jab the only way to get your life back. But if you have a heart attack, then they will go to hide that. Look at the FDA, acting like KKK, trying to run all our lives like we they brand new slaves. Lose the job, bent from playing segregation, all the same. They call themselves progressives, but they taking us all back again. Bring the world to darkness and sacrifice the children then. When it's said and done, then you will never live with hope again. I say that we break the chains, we can't leave the world the same. Make love real again. As we fly above the truth, I ask of God, am I with you? I walk the path, go to the light, but still I feel that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages from all across the world. You're now tuned in with me. My name is Chandler Crump, and this is Crump Live, where we go live every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 to break down what has happened in the day, and on a show like this, which is a very special episode, overlook the entire week. Now, today's date is June 23rd, 2022,
And the people that are in opposition to the Constitution, in opposition to freedom, and are in opposition to basically everything we find valuable as Americans, are very upset. And the week is just getting started insofar as Supreme Court decisions. Now, a major decision has come down. It's been a major ban hammer. The big old has come down, and some people are very, very, very upset, as evidenced by the thumbnail of this stream, which we'll be talking about in a minute. But as you guys can see, today is a big, big show. Now, I'm going to let you guys know this will be our last show for this week, obviously, and next week as well. So I suggest y'all stick around, stay tuned, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, all that good stuff. I want to give a big shout out to all of our folks tuned in live on YouTube, Getter, and Rumble. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to my folks in the chat, Roxanne Shantae, Toy Mafia, Dagny Taggart. I'm seeing a lot of old names that I like to see. Mandatory Carry in the building as well. What is going on? He says hashtag cry more, hashtag rage more. Oh, I think people are going to be doing a whole lot of raging after today's episode. Once again, make sure you smash that like button, and let's just jump right into it because there is so much to talk about, and we've got a jam-packed show for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Supreme Court gun decision shoots down New York rule that set high bar for concealed carry licenses. And I just love how Fox did this one. Of course, I'm not the biggest fan of Fox News, as is many other people aren't. Most of these mainstream networks aren't the best, but come on. Supreme Court gun decision shoots down in New York rule. Come on, that's a good one. I gotta give him a round of applause for that one. That's great. So, of course, you guys have heard all about this today, and I'm not going to spend too much time drilling through the actual article itself. I know you guys don't want to hear me just droning on about what somebody else wrote, but we do have to hear about what somebody else wrote. But it's some of the 9 most important people in the country, the Supreme Court justices. And this is big stuff. So they ruled 6-3 in favor of striking down regulations that would make it harder to carry a concealed handgun, were unconstitutionally restrictive, and that it should be easier to obtain such a license. That's what they said. So I don't want to read all of this. What I do want to read is the actual decisions, or the actual, I should say, opinions that were released. So here are some quotes from Thomas, and there was actually 3 distinct opinions released about this. There was the majority opinion, and then a concurring opinion alongside that, as well as the normal dissenting opinion from those that disagreed. So the main one was from Justice Thomas, and then a concurring opinion was actually released by Justice Alito. And then, of course, the as you can see here, in a concurring opinion, Kavanaugh noted that Thursday's ruling does not prohibit states from setting requirements to obtain a carry license. Yeah, so there's a lot behind this, and I'm not the biggest expert on Supreme Court stuff, so I wanted to take my time and go through this very slowly for y'all to understand, and for myself to understand as well. So I want to read through at least a little bit. In this case, petitioners and respondents agree that ordinary, law-abiding citizens have a similar right to carry handguns publicly for their self-defense. We too agree, and now hold consistent with Heller and McDonald, that the 2nd and 14th Amendments protect an individual's right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home, said Justice Clarence Thomas in a court's opinion, referencing 2 previous gun cases. Because the state of New York issues public carry licenses only when an applicant demonstrates a special need for self-defense, we conclude that the state's licensing regime violates the Constitution. Now that is a big decision right there that really sets a major precedent. That much I understand. Thomas noted that the state statute does not define what proper cause means, and that courts had ruled that the standard was met by people who showed a special need for self-protection. The special needs standard is demanding, Thomas wrote. For example, living or working in an area noted for criminal activity does not suffice. In 43 other states, Thomas noted, authorities are required to issue licenses to applicants who meet certain requirements, and officials do not have discretion to say no due to what they believe is an insufficient need. In a concurring opinion, Kavanaugh noted that Thursday's ruling does not prohibit states from setting requirements to obtain a carry license, and that it addresses only the unusual discretionary licensing regimes. The case, which is the New York State Rifle Pistol Association versus Brune, was the first major gun rights case before the Supreme Court in more than a decade. In the majority opinion, Thomas referenced 2010's McDonald versus City of Chicago and 2008's DC versus Heller in his reasoning for Thursday's ruling. And he speaks a bit about those as well. What I want to get to, however, is the dissenting opinion, which is written by Stephen Breyer, who, and the Fox News describes it as impassioned, but you guys will not believe how impassioned this truly is, in which he referenced present-day fervor over gun violence as well as recent events. Joined by Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor, Breyer cited statistics including 45,000 Americans killed by firearms in 2020, in the U.S. in 2020. The number of mass shootings that have already taken place in 2022, and how gun violence is now the leading cause of death for children and adolescents. Many states have tried to address some of the dangers of gun violence just described by passing laws that limit in various ways who may purchase, carry, or use firearms of different kinds. The court today severely burdened states' efforts to do so. Justice Samuel Alito, in a concurring opinion, took issue with Breyer's reference to recent shootings. Does the dissent think that laws like New York's prevent or deter such atrocities? Will a person bent on carrying out a mass shooting be stopped if he knows it is illegal to carry a handgun outside the home? And how does the dissent account for the fact that one of the mass shootings near the top of its list took place in Buffalo? The New York law at issue in this case obviously did not stop that perpetrator.
Yep.
I just love to see it. I love to see the Supreme Court justices really dishing it out between each other. That's 4 different justices that have all written about this case directly, and that's Kavanaugh, Alito, Breyer, and of course Thomas as well, who actually spoke out very heavily about gun rights and actually how gun control has a racist history, which I've talked about countless times, and he's outlining as well. Everybody is getting in on this. Everybody is getting their digs in, and it is fiery in the court. And this is only the lead up to what might be coming even larger tomorrow. Breyer recognized legitimate purposes for guns such as sport, self-defense, or types of employment like security guards, but he said it is the responsibility of elected officials to balance these lawful uses against the dangers of firearms when crafting legislation, aka give the power to the government, not the people, which is, of course, a dangerous precedent, which is why a lot of these liberal Supreme Court justices are getting so much flack behind this, both from gun proponents and anti-gun proponents who are like, listen, I may think that gun rights aren't the most important thing, but I don't want to give this power to the government. I don't want to have elected officials deciding who do and don't get a gun. That's the exact reason. Those are the exact people who should get guns, to defend against elected officials who suddenly decide they want a little bit more power than they should have. I don't know. What do y'all think? Dagny Taggart says, emotion is not a legal basis, but it is what forms the left's decisions. Very true. Anita Jones says, my grandpa's name was Clarence Thomas. That is so cool. Yeah, there you go. Anita Jones related to a Clarence Thomas. That's really nice. Diamond R says, cause of death to children, which is in reference to the previous comment saying obesity, cancer, many diseases are the leading cause of death in America. Yet you don't see McDonald's being banned. That's a good one. Anita Jones says, I'd hit the love button if there was one. Love me some Chan the Man. WP Grandma. Thank you, Anita Jones. A shout out to everybody who is in the building here on Rumble and Getter. Happy Camper over on Getter says, God bless you, Chandler. And says, Chandler, can you use other sources besides Titter? I promise. I actually have used Truth Social, and obviously this is a direct link from an article as well. I do find Twitter to be a very great place where a lot of information is homogenized, but I understand your concerns, and I do sort of crowdsource to other places, but I definitely agree with you over there. And Joker Ace on Rumble says, Justice Thomas handed out a present to all on his birthday. What a great guy, which actually leads me to another quick story. Happy birthday to Justice Clarence Thomas, who turned another age this year, I believe. Let's just see. How old is Justice Clarence Thomas? Today is his birthday. And he turned, how old? He turned 74 today. He was born back in 1948. Oof. Still younger than Joe Biden somehow. Still younger. That's crazy. But happy birthday to Justice Clarence Thomas. That's great. AK Thirst says, these blue states thought they could force people to give a reason why they should get a gun permit to carry a gun in public, other than the reason being self-defense, which is, yeah, very clear. Mandatory carry says 2/3 of these 45,000 are suicides. Breyer is lying. Wow. I'll have to fact check that one because I don't know if that's 100% true, but if so, that goes back to the actual thing about this entire gun rights issue. And it's not a gun rights issue, it's just a mental health issue. Suicide is a symptom of poor mental health. Access to a gun isn't going to change that. If they don't have a gun, they'll find another way to do it. They'll jump off a building. They'll ingest materials. They'll find other ways if their mental health is at such a place. It just so happens that a gun is capable of harming other people as well. You can't gather 30 people together and throw them off a building as easy as you can maybe get access to a gun and run up at a school. But that isn't the problem. The problem is the root of the issue itself, which we aren't paying any attention to. Because all we want to talk about is restricting guns, just like 14 GOP senators voted to do just 2 days ago. And we've already talked about this a little bit, but I wanted to highlight this for a second and then highlight to you guys something really hilarious that happened. So one of these senators that voted for this was a senator from Texas. Now, I don't know about y'all, but a senator from Texas voting against gun rights sounds really backwards to me. Does that sound like something that would actually happen in 2022? Or at least in Texas? Maybe in 2022 it does make sense, but in Texas, I don't know. That is Senator John Cornyn, who voted a for this bill, who had previously an A+ rating from the NRA, who earlier this month signed on to a bipartisan framework with 10 Democrats. And that bill is now voting to pass the Senate, which was a very close vote of 64 to 34. Yeah, very close. But still, many people have taken major issue to this, so much so that they actually pulled up on John Cornyn and asked him, listen, dude, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? The American Firearms Association just confronted traitor John Cornyn for delivering a gun control win for the Democrats and Joe Biden. Shameful. Hashtag shall not be infringed. Let's check this out, shall we? And I think y'all are going to get a real good kick out of this one. In fact, I'm going to put this up on screen. I'm going to put the chat up on screen so you guys can chat about this as we watch it.
Hey, Cornyn. Yes. You're delivering a great big victory for the gun control crowd. What have you ever done in your Senate career to expand gun rights?
I think you're propagating misinformation.
No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh. When it's a video like this that I know is going to be so entertaining, I choose not to watch it and just kind of react live just to see and give you guys a real reaction. And of course, this guy is part of I always say it's a big gang, it's a big group, it's a big, I don't know, club, that's the word I'm looking for, and we're not in it. And we're not in it. He is parroting the exact same terms that every other Democrat and Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden and AOC are always talking about. We're propagating misinformation. So much so that the White House wanted to start a disinformation governance board, or I think that was the name of it, with some people within the White House and Homeland Security to take care of all those dirty disinformation, misinformation spreaders. And it seems like John Cornyn, or Senator Cornyn, is all in for that, isn't he?
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You're funding red flags for all the states, dude. What the heck?
Every count's cheering.
What have you ever done in your Senate career to advance gun rights?
Nothing.
Anything?
And there he goes.
Yeah, bud. Watch out there. Hey, Corn.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you turn your backs on the constituents and those that stand by gun rights, like the American Firearms Association. Well, they're going to pull up on you and they're going to ask you some questions. Mandatory Carry says, do we give the government the authority to decide who has the need for an abortion, Your Honor? Boom. There you go. We don't ask, why are you getting abortion or anything like that, unless it's for some sort of study. We're just like, yeah, sure. Get down on the table. We've got the tools. And there goes a life. But when it comes to having a gun, well, why do you need the gun? And do you believe you passed these tests and all that? And I'm not saying all those are necessarily a bad thing, but when you start to push them further and further like they were trying to do in New York, well, it starts to become an issue because it becomes almost impossible to gain access and have a gun. That's the precedent we're setting each and every time we do this. And speaking of setting a very dangerous and crazy precedent, Keith Olbermann, who is a major political commentator, that's kind of half sarcasm, half not, posted this to Twitter today, and thankfully got absolutely roasted, but those show you just how crazy these people are willing to get. He posted, "It has become necessary to dissolve the Supreme Court of the United States."
Stop the cap.
Nope.
It's no use.
Got him.
I play a string of sound effects to really, the 5 stages of just grief. Like you laugh at it, then you're like, oof, and you're like, nope, got him, it's no use. Why do you want to do this? The first step is for a state the court has now forced guns upon to ignore this ruling. Great. You're a court? Why and how do you think you can enforce your rulings? Hashtag ignore the court. Hashtag ignore the Constitution is what he might have just said. Just like Joe Biden has said, no amendment is absolute. Just because the Constitution and the Bill of Rights says you have the right to this and that doesn't mean it's actually absolute. And I'd say, as your elected official, we can revoke that. So yeah, no, Second Amendment gone. You don't need a gun. First Amendment gone. No, you don't need to post on Twitter or even step outside your home and stand on a field and start talking to people. No, because we can arrest you for disturbing the peace. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. You can't do any of these different things if they choose to, because we have begun to encroach on each and every one of these rights that were outlined to us by the government, outlined to us by the founding fathers, and given to us by our creator. These aren't absolute. Insofar as what Keith Olbermann, Joe Biden, and I'm sure plenty others, and possibly even John Cornyn, would join in to say and agree with. Doesn't that set a dangerous precedent? Way more than any of these guns might ever, because you can shoot as many guns as you want. The other side's going to have a gun too. But when you take away your rights, and you take away the guns as well, what do you have left? That's called bondage. That's called slavery. That's not freedom, that's not the pursuit of happiness, and that is not the vision that the founding fathers had for this country almost or above 200 years ago. I'm just saying, that's my question about it. Rebecca says, I think these clowns tweet this garbage for attention. Thick Chris says, lol, at Slithered, so true. Nice to see Thick Chris in the chat. I don't think I've ever seen Mandatory Carry and Thick Chris in the chat at the same time. These are some of the most funny people on our channel, so I'm interested to see how you two collaborate to really tear the show apart and make me laugh. Happy Campers over on Getter. Once the world wakes up to the genocide, they won't want us armed. Yes, and I chose not to say the specific words you mentioned there, but I agree. We do have to be careful about talking about the VAX terminology here on the channel. YouTube will eviscerate my channel, but either way, it's big news. It's all coming to a hold, and I can't wait to see what comes forth as things get even crazier. And speaking of things get crazier, tomorrow might just be the day that our nation boils over. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't go all the way over, but I do know it's going to be a big day, as tomorrow, the Supreme Court is scheduled to release another opinion. This one was in addition to the Tuesday opinion they released and the Thursday opinion they released. The Tuesday one wasn't all that major. This Thursday one was pretty big. Those are the two dates that were scheduled for opinions to be released. And now they have emergency, or I shouldn't say emergency, but they have, in addendum to those previous two, scheduled one for tomorrow. And there's only a handful of options for what that one tomorrow could be. And I think you guys know exactly where this is going. So y'all stick around, don't turn the dial anywhere. We'll be right back after a few messages. See ya.
Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and welcome to the brand new one-of-a-kind commercial break. Here on the Chandler Crump channel, we pride ourselves on straight-talking nature, adherence to facts, resistance to media programming, and a loyalty to the red, white, and blue above all. These live shows are what I consider to be my job, and I only get paid on tips around here. So if you think I've done a good job or want to encourage me to do even better, then check out the description of this video and go to donorbox.org/support-Chandler. This is our donation processor and the one-stop shop to support all things Chandler. If you choose to, you can even have your name appear on stream to flaunt that you support our show. This is of course the illustrious Hall of Heroes bar above me. Another path to the Hall of Heroes is of course Cash App. My Cash App code is $ChandlerCR and is visible on every one of my streams. Thank you guys so much. Now, let's get back to the show.
We have some absolute menaces in the chat this evening. Dateslav, Mandatory Carry says, I'm not funny, I'm mean-spirited, an awful human being. Also, I hope tomorrow does boil over. I'm down for the log pig. You're terrible for that one. And Thick Chris says something very accurate. He says, save the babies, save the babies, save the kids. And that brings us to our next subject. Let's take a quick music break, shall we? And go down memory lane.
Somebody gotta do it.
Y'all remember this one, don't
Somebody
you?
gotta do it. Yeah.
I got hit, nigga.
Yeah. Save the baby, save the baby, save the kids. Have the baby, let it grow, just let it live. Save the baby, save the baby, save the kids. Have the baby, let it grow and let it live.
So true. Thick Chris says, I heard you queuing it up. I knew it was coming. I had to do it. Somebody has to do it. But, yes, I think something big is coming tomorrow. Many people do. Roe v. Wade's still up in the air. SCOTUS overturn may be Friday. The Supreme Court has scheduled another opinion to drop tomorrow, and this might be big. There was an Alito decision handed down by the High Court Thursday, just not that Alito decision. With only one day left on the Supreme Court scheduled to release opinions in this year's term, Americans are still waiting for a ruling on the intensely watched case that is expected to overturn Roe v. Wade abortion ruling. The High Court handed down 4 opinions on Thursday that involved voter ID, state execution, Alito on Miranda warnings, and the constitutionality of a New York concealed carry law. The case of Dobbs v. Jackson, Women's Health Organization, which considers the legality of a Mississippi law that bans all abortions after 15 weeks, was not ruled on. In early May, a draft opinion for the case written by Samuel Alito was leaked and indicated that the conservative majority court intended to overturn Roe, claiming the 1973 decision was unconstitutional. It is unclear if the final opinion will align with the draft originally written in February. Since the draft opinion was leaked, tensions have exploded across the country. Large cities and the homes of the conservative justices have been targets of protests, while some pregnancy crisis centers have been attacked. Brett Kavanaugh even faced an assassination attempt over the expected opinion earlier this month. If the ruling does overturn Roe v. Wade, protests are expected to continue, and at least one pro-abortion organization has vowed to lead a night of rage. The White House condemned potential violence on Wednesday, with Press Secretary John Pierre saying violence and destruction of property have no place in our country under any circumstance. Now, I might have to add it to my soundboard, but do y'all, I want to play the little when you guys have a flashback in a TV show, and think back to 2020 when the sitting vice president as of now, but back then, candidate for president, I think, Kamala Harris actually started a fund to bail out Antifa, Black Lives Matter protesters in 2020 after torching our entire country. Is that just me? I don't know. And the president denounces this action. Actions like this are completely unacceptable regardless of our politics. So we have announced that, and we will continue to denounce any violence or threats. The Supreme Court is expected to release a final decision by the end of June or early July, along with 8 other rulings. As of Thursday, there's only one more opinion release day scheduled, Friday, June 24th. However, the court could schedule additional days. But in case tomorrow, June 24th, is the day, we've got one last song for you guys to hear and play, which is part of my next project. You guys may or may not have heard it before, but I think it is so accurate and adept that we need to play it now.
My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. There would have been no Kanye West.
Okay, not your life, not your body, not your choice, ayy, ayy. Not your life, not your body, not your choice, ayy, ayy. That's a baby, that's a child, that's a voice, ayy, ayy. Not your choice, not your choice, not your choice, okay?
So true, isn't it? It is not your life, it is not your body, it is not your choice. I paused on a very bad frame here, so I'm just gonna reset it back. But that's my song. You guys just heard Bryson's song. I expect, if this happens, that we put these songs up on the Billboard charts. What do you guys think about that? As a message to all of the people who think they own culture, as a message to all the people who think they own those babies inside of those bodies. They say, it's my body, my choice, so that's why we get to tear them apart. No, we say it is not your life, it is not your body, and it is not your choice. And if it happens tomorrow, it happens tomorrow. If it happens even later, or doesn't happen at all, well, we know we've got a fight ahead of us. But I think the culture is the most important part of it all. Anita Jones says, oh yeah. Thickress says, let's get them likes up. Mandatory Carrie says, riots. Wish I lived in DC now. I'm down for a luau. Carrie, Mandatory Carrie, if you don't get up out of here. But y'all, this is the real fight we're in right now. This is the real fight we're in. So if that happens tomorrow, I think it is going to be a really great thing to look forward to. If it doesn't, that's going to be a letdown. But if it happens at all, that's what I'm most excited for. But it's not only to show those that are on the other side that their ways are wrong. It's not the only way. Roxanne Shante says, is it on iTunes? You know what? You make a good point. That song is actually not available on iTunes yet. But I'm here to tell you guys for the first time live here on stream that my next album called Year of the Rebel will be releasing next Friday, July 1st. This is the album cover of it here. It's shrunk down a little bit, but this is what it will look like. And that song will be track 1 on the album. So if it comes out this Friday, then next Friday, I want you guys out there on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, buying the song, listening to the whole album. And if we get this up here on the charts to show that we are rebelling against the My Body, My Choice mob, I think we can make a big cultural moment happen. So if you guys are interested in doing that, keep an eye out on all of my social medias. I'll be posting out links for you guys to get it. I've worked very hard on this project. It has been a long time in the making, and there's so much more coming down the pipeline, especially if big things happen really soon. But of course, culture is a major avenue we need to pursue. And we need to pursue it so that we can show all these people on the other side, and even on our side, that they're not quite as popular as they think. They are not quite as popular as they think. A GOP Senate candidate from Utah, her name is Becky Edwards, tells an undercover journalist she is Utah's best bet to stand up for abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned. This is crazy. You guys need to hear this. Project Veritas strikes again.
Can absolutely guarantee you I'm your best bet. I'm the only candidate who has even said anything other than joyful, happy, yay, answer to prayer on what we're seeing on Roe. So
you'll
yeah,
definitely stand up for
I'm going to stand up.
abortion.
I'm going to stand up.
Becky Edwards is a former Utah state rep who is running for U.S. Senate in the Republican primary against incumbent Senator Mike Lee.
And we have like trigger law here in Utah that basically is going to make things really. I'm deeply concerned. So a trigger law that basically bans all abortions here in Utah from I think it's 12 weeks on. And I'm thinking, well, or the laws in Mississippi 6 weeks, or Texas, I think.
If this is overturned, I support states in their efforts to support women's health, including mental health, across the spectrum of a woman's life.
You don't like Mississippi, right? Their whole
No, Mississippi, Texas, Oklahoma, what the heck? Idaho even.
So there's the big news. There is yet another GOP Senate candidate running in Utah. They're trying to have 2 rhino senators. Can you believe it? Romney and Becky. Oh, they're 2 peas of a pod. Somebody in the chat actually says she looks like Cocaine Mitch's sister. Ew. Oh, it's thick wrist. Come on. You know what? You're not even wrong. You're not even wrong. Oh my. Is this just Mitch McConnell in a wig? Somebody tell me. I'm thinking so. I really am thinking so. Thick wrist says baby killer. Very true. Very true. These are the people we're fighting against. Oh, Utah, no other way to win, says Throttle. Yeah. Kayan says, what more could you expect after threatening multiple justices and not providing perfection? Love God, he's always on the throne. So, very true. I think those that are going to stand by the words you just said are very excited for what may be coming. I'm really thinking it's going to happen tomorrow. I think they waited until the exact last day of this year's term to do it, like they've been pushing it back. And they say that it says they could add more days to the schedule. Like I said, I'm not the foremost experts on the judicial branch, especially not the Supreme Court, but what I do know is when they put this landmark decision down, people are going to be very upset. And as you guys know, if you go to the Supreme Court in DC right now, you will see a massive fence in front of it and police right there on guard, ready just in case some lunatic tries to handcuff themselves to the fence like that happened just a couple days ago. They had to arrest them and send them away somewhere else. But this is big stuff right here. And I think we could see just how bad it gets. So I'm here to announce as well another quick announcement. If the decision happens tomorrow, I will be joining you guys live right back here on YouTube the minute it drops. And if you keep an eye on all my social medias, I will announce about an hour or so beforehand that I'll be going live about it. If nothing happens, then nothing happens. But if it does, then we are going to have a celebration live right here on YouTube. And if anybody wants to be out there protesting on the streets, I also invite them to be here on the stream in the chat room raising hell, because I'm sure they're going to be very upset. But we're here to show them that it is not your life. Once again, it is not your body, and most importantly, it is not your choice, because this is the year of the rebel. And year of the rebel strikes very hard on all sides. This isn't just about abortion or the Supreme Court. We've spent so long talking about that, so I want to move on to another quick subject here. This one is going to be good. Kari Lake is a good GOP Senate. A good GOP candidate, unlike Miss Becky from Utah, who's talking about how terrible Texas and Idaho and Oklahoma are for trying to stand by the unborn. Kari Lake is a good candidate from Arizona for governor, who is giving emotional damage to CNN. You guys have to see this right here. You're gonna love this.
Hi. Hi. Nice to see you. Counting off in CNN. You don't have a mask on anymore. What's going on? We're outside. Do you have a minute to chat? We're 6 feet apart. Do you have a minute?
And I got to rewind that so you guys can see that. This is actually an interview they did in October of 2021, where this same lady actually had a mask on, funnily enough.
Anymore. What's going on? We're outside. Do you have a minute to chat?
We're 6 feet apart.
Do you have a minute to chat?
I'll do an interview.
Okay.
As long as it airs on CNN Plus. Does that still exist? I didn't think so, because the people don't like what you guys are peddling, which is propaganda. Thank you.
Emotional damage.
This is the type of energy we need in the GOP and the MAGA movement and whatever whatever phrase you want to attach to it. Those that Joe Biden condemns as racist, sexists. Yes, he calls Kari Lake a racist and a sexist. Believe it or not, it's true. This is what we need. We don't need any more Beckys. We don't need any more Mitch McConnells. We don't need any punks who are going to turn their back at the first step. We need a whole lot more people like Kari Lake who are going to give you the facts right when you need them. Thick Chris says slap. What else? Throttle says excellent. Anita says wasn't or babies or somebody said something. I was just reading that they were talking about how crazy that was. People are tired. I think I might have lost it, but that's big right there. That is big. It's not emotional damage until someone uses a permanent solution to their temporary problems. Lol, yeah, 6 feet apart shakes my head. Don't worry, we got boosters, bro. They sound so... Right? I mean, if you got all the boosters, you've got all the jabs. Why do you need to worry about masks and 6 feet apart? I really don't know. I really don't know. And speaking of just how insane things are and how much questioning there is to do, I want to switch gears a little bit and cover something that the Biden administration is doing that we need a whole lot more people like Carrie Lake to fight back against. And that comes at a very interesting time, as today is the 50th anniversary of Title IX. The Biden administration unveils some new Title IX rules they intend to implement to get transgender athletes back in girls' sports, defeating the entire purpose of girls' sports. Believe it or not, what an affront. The U.S. Department of Education on Thursday released its long-awaited overhaul of Title IX rules, undoing one of the major achievements in the Trump administration under Secretary Betsy DeVos. Title IX of the 72 Education Amendments prohibits discrimination of gender at educational institutions that receive federal funding. Under the Biden administration's proposed rule change, the definition of gender would be expanded to include identity and orientation, which proponents say would prevent discrimination against LGBTQ plus people in schools. The Biden admin would also roll back several Trump-era due process protections for students accused of harassment. When DeVos was education secretary, she released a rule that permitted those accused of misconduct greater opportunity to defend themselves during proceedings. The rules, which were controversial at the time, required that alleged harassment had to be so severe, pervasive, and objectively offensive that it effectively denies a person equal access to the school's programs or activities in order to trigger proceedings. Due process advocates praise the Trump administration for ensuring that colleges and universities give those accused of harassment a fair opportunity to defend themselves during hearings and cross-examination. Doesn't that sound so very fair? Because I'm sure the minute that we start letting, like, in all honesty, we're not supposed to say anything bad about, let's say, what's this person's name? I'm forgetting this person's name. It is the guy who is thinking it's a girl and is in the pools. I'm just trying to. It's memory hold at this point. Somebody y'all in the chat are gonna let me know. But this type of person was going in the locker rooms with the girls with all of his parts and his bits and all that of that nature still in there. Somebody's got it. Somebody's got it. Somebody in the chat is gonna be like, y'all are always on it in the chat. Roxanne Chante just says, dude, I haven't heard about him in the news in a hot minute, so I'm not remembering his name. The news cycle is so fast. Y'all know who it is. William? Somebody said Roxanne Chante says William. Unfortunately, women are their own enemy on this 19 topic. Can't have it both ways. Women are equal to men, or they are not. Leah Thomas. That was it. Leah Thomas, aka William Thomas. That's it. William Thomas. Wasn't that? Yeah, William Thomas was his dead name. Yeah, Leah. Okay, there you go, Leah Thomas. This whole thing with Leah Thomas in the locker rooms, we're not supposed to say anything about harassment with Leah Thomas making these other girls uncomfortable. But when it comes to other cases of it, well, it goes right on through. And I guess as so far as what the Biden administration says. The rules, which were controversial at the time, required that harassment had to be severe, pervasive, and offensive. We read all that. Over the last 50 years, Title IX has paved the way for millions of girls and women to access equal opportunity in our nation's schools and has been instrumental in combating assault and violence in educational settings. As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of this landmark law, our proposed changes will allow us to continue that progress and ensure all our nation's students, no matter where they live, who they are, or who they love, can learn, grow, and thrive in school. We welcome public comment on these critical regulations so we can further the Biden-Harris administration's mission of creating educational environments free from discrimination and violence, supposedly. A potential consequence of the Biden administration's new Title X rules is that schools that do not allow gender dysphoric male athletes to compete on women's sports could lose federal funding. The Biden admin is setting up a conflict with 18 states that have enacted laws prohibiting men who identify as women from playing in girls and women's sports leagues. DeVos called the new rules a bridge too far in an interview with Fox. They would attempt to expand the definition of biological sex through a rulemaking process is really a bridge too far. And I hope that, and I trust that many people will raise their voices if what is rumored to be true actually unfolds. This is the erosion of our country that they are pushing forward on every single stance. I've covered, I'd say, 4 different distinct issues in which they're pushing one way and we have to push back the other way. Gun rights, abortion, let's see here, what was the other thing? It was, I guess, the Carrie Lake thing. I think it was just 3 then. And then women's sports. 3 major things that they're pushing so very hard that we have to fight back. We cannot let men into women's sports, 1. We cannot let them take our guns, 2. And we cannot let them continue to eviscerate our future, 3, through abortion. And it looks like we're making great strides on all 3 fronts. And that's why they're so very angry. And that's why Keith Olbermann is saying, well, it's time to dissolve the Supreme Court. And that's why Joe Biden was saying we need to evaluate our decisions insofar as packing the court, adding more seats so that we can get whoever we want up there and get our liberal majority back. That's what they want so bad. And that's why we have to fight. That's why we have to fight. And I think in the end, we will win. We'll be right back real quick after a few more messages. Y'all don't go anywhere. We've got a couple more stories to jump into. We'll be right back.
Hey freethinkers, Chandler here. Got a reason to celebrate coming up? Birthday? Anniversary? Election? Then why not recruit the help of your favorite content creator, commentator, and musician to celebrate? Well, now you can, with Cameo. Whether it be for yourself, your spouse, maybe that liberal son or daughter of yours, it doesn't matter. You can recruit my services to wish you a happy birthday, make you a funny political joke, send you a heartfelt message, and all around try to make you smile. For a small flat price on the Cameo app, you can recruit me to do all of this and more. It of course helps support me and the channel, so it's going to a great cause, and you get something even greater out of it. So if this sounds interesting to you, go to Cameo.com or download the Cameo app on the Apple or Google App Store and create an account today. Then, once you're all set, just search my name, Chandler Crump, and from there, enter what you want me to say and who the special message is for, and you'll receive it within a couple of days. Now, let's get back to the show.
Y'all are just going absolutely wild in the chat. Okay, thick wrist and mandatory carry are a toxic combination. And y'all are asking all sorts of crazy questions that I cannot answer on stream. But also, y'all are just straight up laughing at Leah Thomas. I took a minute to rant for a second to focus in on the actual merits of the issue. And y'all are talking about some of the things that Leah Thomas has to perform on themselves to make themselves look more like a girl. And we don't need to get into any of that. Y'all are also laughing. Roxanne Chante is talking just all sorts of madness. I can't believe it. Dates Love. Does she have a shut up carry? Yeah, see, y'all are going crazy. And also something I can't believe, y'all ain't 30 yet. Y'all ain't old enough to hear this kind of language. And Diamond R makes a good point. We've got people of all ages. We've got people as young as me watching. And we've got my great grandma Anita Jones in the chat, who's also just talking. I can't find on YouTube a way to support you. I was supporting you at one time, but there was a hiccup because of my card. If you could tell me how, I want to jump back on board. Of course, Anita. If you go on the website donorbox.org/support-Chandler. I'll drop it in the chat for you as well. You can gain access to all of that. I do remember you supporting me in the past, and I really appreciate it, as well as all the other folks like Zora, Michael, their dad, and all the other folks. So those options are available. If you go in the description, you'll see the link as well, but it's just donorbox.org/support-Chandler, and you can donate all that good stuff right here to support our channel. Of course, that also permits you to join the Hall of Heroes above, like Mark Cook and Zora do as well. This one right here from where Mark Cook currently occupies is our top donor of the month, and then this one is our most recent donor. So if you want to join either of those and maybe take both, although I don't usually allow that, all those options are available in the description. Since y'all do know this, unless something happens tomorrow, this is our final show for the month. So y'all are asking me a few questions in the chat, and I don't usually answer questions, but I think I'll go through and answer a few. Diamond Arse's birthday in February, right, Chandler? Wrong. My birthday is actually in September. So this September, I'll be turning 18 after 18 long and strenuous years on this earth. I've lived a very good life. I've lived in the American bubble, and I'm very proud to have American privilege. I'll be finally turning 18 and excited to share with you guys some new things coming very soon. Thick Chris says, nah, I'm grimy. Get out of here, Thick Chris. Hip Hop Thinker says, when do you turn 18, young fella? Yep, there you go. This September. Mandatory Carry and Thick Chris are saying, nice to meet you. I'm a disturbed sociopath. Yo. Y'all are ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you guys the Ultra MAGA of America, a disturbed sociopath and a grimy person, as Thick Chris says. Y'all are just terrible. Also, wow, we have reached a milestone on my YouTube channel. This is the first time we have had 50 viewers watching us live since 2020. My channel was absolutely hammered by YouTube after releasing the song Let's Go Brandon, among a few other things. I received multiple community guideline strikes. So big thank you to everybody who's tuned in. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. But I also want to personally ask each and every one of you to make sure you are subscribed to me over on Rumble. Now, of course, you guys have definitely heard of Rumble before. It's a great platform. They've partnered with Trump and Truth Social and all that good stuff. We have viewers over on Rumble. And I want to encourage all of y'all to watch me over there. It is only a matter of time before YouTube decides I've crossed the line again. So make sure you join us over here on Rumble and subscribe. We've got 12 people watching us over on Rumble, which is great. But I want to pump those numbers up, move some of y'all off of YouTube. So if you want to do that, visit the link in our description or go to rumble.com, sign up, and just look me up, Chandler_Crump. You'll find my channel. All of my streams, all of my videos are all published up here at the same time as we're live on YouTube. There's even a live chat feature, so you're never missing out. Just type in, hey, y'all, and there you are. So shout out to Joker Ace and all of our other folks who are always tuning in over on Rumble, as well as to my folks over on Gitter as well. Y'all are still roasting Leah Thomas in the chat. Mad Mom on Gitter says Leah Thomas. I like to call Leah Thomas Lia Thomas because clearly that person is lying about their gender, but hey, that's just me. That's just me. Michael Jackson says, wait, Michael Jackson. Okay, I'm sorry for laughing. Michael Jackson says, your boy Bryson was in You Screwed jail. Be careful. Yes, sir. You screwed as in YouTube jail. Yeah, he was actually, and we had Bryson on the show the same evening he was banned off of YouTube for a week. So shout out to him. We might actually have to have him join us here live on YouTube tomorrow if that Roe v. Wade decision comes down. We might have to do that. We've got somebody says, yo, you're the bomb, Chandler. Thank you so much. Mean like a Wolverine. Oh, I love that name. Mean like a Wolverine. Shout out to everybody who is in here, the chat. We're just answering questions, but it's a very casual show here. We've covered most of our topics except for one that I want to touch on real quick that'll probably open things up. But this is our last show for the month of June, unless something crazy happens tomorrow, and I'll be gone for like a week to enjoy a little vacation time. So we're just opening the show up. We're doing a casual show. We haven't done one of these in a while. So if you guys have any questions or you just want to chat it up with me, now is the time to do it. You don't get this opportunity often. Joe Killup is going to Rumble. That's where I've seen you before. Nice to see it, Joe. I'll make sure to check you out over on Rumble, all my folks over there, so I don't miss out on any comments. I want to play something for you guys real quick, but if you guys want to ask any questions, throw them in the chat, and I'll answer them for you once we get back through it. January 6th committee member Adam Kinzinger is, gosh, Adam Kinzinger is the most hilarious guy. He's a Republican representative from, if I can get it, I'm going to guess, I think he's from, what's the state that I think Adam Kinzinger is from? Ohio? Let's do a little Adam Kinzinger state. What state is he from? Because I've seen his name so many times. I know he's a Republican for now. Adam Kinzinger is from Illinois. Okay, there you go. I was close. It's in the Midwest. But either way, he says, I'm still worried that not enough has changed to prevent this from happening again. Talking about January 6th. And you know what, guys? I think for once, I actually agree.
But I'm still worried that not enough has changed to prevent this from happening again. The oath that we take has to mean something. It has to cut to the core of who we are and be the driving force of our service to this nation. We on this committee, we may be able to shine light on the darkness, but that is not enough. It's now up to every American, now and in the future, to stand for truth, to reject the lies wherever we confront them, in our towns, in our capitals, in our friendships, in our families, and at the ballot box, and within our own minds and hearts.
We are sick and tired of fake Republicans like Adam Kinzinger taking the very first chance they can to turn their back on President Trump and turn their back on the Republican constituents that voted them into office. I can guarantee you, next primary season, Adam Kinzinger will not sit in the same seat he occupies today, and he will not continue to ignore the voices of his constituents within Illinois. And to everybody in the chat who is schooling me, and somebody said I failed that pop quiz. Don't worry, Sienna, I failed it as well. But that's what we like to do here. We like to, I call this show, not only it's a chill zone where we get to, you know, chill out, have a conversation, but also a little bit of a classroom. Of course, you entrust a 17-year-old to be your teacher. No, we everybody educates each other. That's all the good stuff. We had a few people in the chat who answered it correctly. But I think it's about time we wash our hands of fools like this, or maybe even fools like Dr. Oz, who after handily winning the nomination for Senate of the Republicans in Pennsylvania, is it? Oh yeah, Pennsylvania. I always get Pennsylvania and Philadelphia mixed up, embarrassingly. Pennsylvania has now taken all mentions of Trump off of his website. In fact, if we go to droz.com right now, you will no longer see you will no longer see Trump up there. Once again, Dr. Oz, why you're running, yada 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 yada. Join Team Oz. Nothing about Trump. When we look back at his website just before, you'll see Dr. Oz removed it. Dr. Oz Trump. I want to show you guys some of the articles that came out about this. Let's just do the one from Axios. That's good enough. Let me turn this on so I don't get any annoying ads. But as you can see, this is what his website used to look like. It says, join President Trump, support Dr. Oz. And now it's just this. Because Trump doesn't mean anything to these people. And unfortunately, it seems like Trump is willing to endorse anybody who will turn their back on him in a second. Like Dr. Oz, who I guess he'll probably try to justify it as saying, well, people in Pennsylvania don't actually want to vote for Trump. They want to vote for me. They want to vote for me. I'm the doctor they trust. Meanwhile, the only way he was able to cinch the nomination for that primary, and even only this close, was because of the Trump endorsement. There were major political figures out there campaigning against Dr. Oz, who was a World Economic Forum shill. We were all out there to do it. And unfortunately, he got it anyways because the Trump endorsement is that powerful in some of these places. He still only barely got it. But it is people like this, man. People like Adam Kinzinger. People like Liz Cheney, who is now begging amongst Democrats to switch their party affiliation to Republican in order to vote for her. We're going to bring that up in a second. That are going to embarrass themselves, that are showing their true colors as members of the Republican establishment, and are showing their true colors as traitors to the American people and traitors to their own constituents. So much so that, as Liz Cheney is doing, is mailing out instructions to Democrats to change parties and vote for her. We're going to cover this real quick, and then I'll answer some of the questions y'all are putting in the chat. As Representative Liz Cheney faces a tough re-election battle in Wyoming, she's turning to Democrats in her home state to help her chances in this August 16th Republican primary. Cheney's campaign has mailed instructions to Democrats on how to change their party affiliation to vote for her. Under Wyoming law, voters must be registered as a Democrat or Republican in order to vote in that primary. The instructions, also listed on Cheney's campaign site, which we are so going to look at, direct voters to fill out a registration form and submit it to their county clerk's office at least 2 weeks before the primary. Voters may also change their party affiliation at the polls on primary day or when they request an absentee. Liz is proud to represent all Wyomingites and is working hard to earn every vote. This call comes as some Democrats in the red state have expressed support for Cheney's defiance of former President Donald Trump and plan to vote for her re-election. Though Republicans are a majority in the state, it's not unusual for candidates to reach out to Democrats during campaign season to boost their election bids. Of course, you always want to reach across the aisle and maybe see if you can, if you're campaigning as a moderate, anything like that, see what you could do. This is on another level, though. She is begging, please, Democrats. I know I'm a dirty, racist, straight, white female Republican, although I don't know how much about the straight thing, but either way, no, I'm joking. She is begging Democrats. Let me see if we can find it on the website here. Yeah, right here. How do I change my party affiliation? It's right here on the website. That's so helpful. That's so funny. That really is so funny. Somebody in the chat says, Chandler, thoughts on Andrew Gillum? Rebecca asks, oh, we talked about Andrew Gillum, I think, actually just yesterday. And yeah, Andrew, he's up to some crazy stuff. He actually just received 21 counts in a few indictments, and he is now facing charges and could face quite a few years in prison, paying a lot of money, all sorts of insane things, because of how he handled his 2018 election and his 2018 race against Ron DeSantis. Only emboldening Republicans in the area and emboldening Ron DeSantis to run for further office. I don't know. Mandatory Carry says, wait, Chan, how do you know you're joking? I'm trying to be respectful, okay? It's a sitting House Representative, Liz Cheney. Nah, I don't need to be respectful. I don't know Mandatory Carry. I really don't. It's hard to be extra choosy when all your options are dirty commie snakes. Yeah, that comes as Sienna says, I wish Trump would be more choosy when endorsing candidates. He has not learned his lesson. I agree with both y'all. I think Trump sadly doesn't have many options, but also he does have one big option, not endorsing anybody. Like he did in quite a few races, especially, smaller key races. And in states like Georgia, he is starting to pay the price for his bad endorsements. He is starting to pay the price for not campaigning hard enough, as he was handily beat earlier this week in every single race he had endorsed in Georgia for the runoff. So that was Jake Evans and Vernon Jones. Both candidates lost by massive margins against their non-Trump endorsed counterparts in Mike Collins and Rich McCormick. Trump is paying the price. He also paid the price last month with David Perdue versus Brian Kemp. And I don't want to delve too far into electoral politics and the Trump endorsement and what it means for the 2024 primaries. If you guys want to learn more about that, check out my stream we did last Tuesday, or I should say earlier this week on Tuesday, about the primaries as the results came in live. He is still winning, thankfully, in states like Alabama with Katie Britt over Mo Brooks, although, of course, my Alabamans might have some issue with that. I know we had some pro Mo Brooks people in the chat just a couple days back, so obviously it's mixed emotions there as always. That's just how it'll be in politics. But still, his endorsement carries weight, and it's going to be a good thing for some of these people that are going to campaign on it, like Dr. Oz did. But as we see, they turn their back against them just like that. Now, it's not Dr. Oz saying, I condemn Trump and this and that in January 6th committee, but we do look at what Dr. Oz said in the past about red flag laws and abortion, which are one of the holy trifecta of things we were talking about today, insofar as how bad they're going after our rights. Trying to institute red flag laws, take away your guns, trying to make it as easy as possible for anybody to get an abortion anywhere, and trying to put all the men and women's sports they can get, because who cares about anything, right? I don't know. These are the issues we're seeing right now between us and, I don't know, a more perfect union. And people like Dr. Oz, who handily get their Trump endorsement, aren't seeming to do anything about it. It's so fact, they're actually seeming to be fighting against it. They're actually seeming to be fighting in support of red flag laws, abortion for everybody, boys and women's sports, all that stuff. And they still get the endorsement. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, curt or anything about it, and I'm trying to be rude, but I think somebody's got to say it. Somebody got to say it. Joe Killips, I was surprised how they put Liz Cheney, Vice on Netflix. I'll have to check that out. Kaplan says, Oz is a snake. He will campaign on all the leftist stances, pro-choice, pro-trans kids, all that stuff. Who wants to lend me their Hulu account, says Diamond R. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, Diamond R. Don't you get any of that stuff on my channel. Somebody said, Rebecca says, get him, Gillum. So true. About the Chandler thoughts on Gillum. Let's see if I can answer a few questions y'all might have been asking the last little bit. Also, check to see if anything has happened that I'm missing out on real quick. Nope, we're all good. Mandatory Carry says, I can't even spell Illinois. You're fine, chat. No, it's okay. It's okay. McFist says, rhinos are Trojan horses killing our nation from the inside. They are cancer. I think we've got a lot of agreements about that. Speaking of a lot of agreements, we've got 93 likes here on the show today, guys. If we can get 7 more people to hit the like button, I think this will be our first time hitting 100 likes on one of our streams in a very long time. So can you guys make this a very special stream for me and hit that like button? And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe as well. We've been at 46,000 or so on this channel for, I think, almost a year now. So if you guys want to help me out, push it over. Rebecca Kaplan says, Mehmet Omar. Dagny Taggart says Mehmet Romney. Guys, I think Mehmet Cheney, that might be a good one as well. I think we could come up with a lot of great nicknames about all this, as things are heating up, folks, ladies and gentlemen. And it's only a matter of time before they get even crazier tomorrow with the new decision that might be coming down. It might be a small thing. I think there's plenty of other, decisions they have on their desks in the Supreme Court, but I think it could be a big thing as well. It could be a big thing. Tomorrow might be the day we finally say, not your life, not your body, not your choice. Because they've already got the Concealed Carry Act and all that stuff taken care of. It might be big. And speaking of big, we have just hit 100 likes on the show today. I want to give a big thank you. We did it. Come on, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for yourself. I'm really appreciative of that. Shout out to my folks over at Rumble. R.U. Shackelford says, hey, Chandler. Joker A says, Donald always getting stabbed in the back. Oh, well. Very true over on Rumble. On Getter, Mad Mom is just tearing it down. Says, something fishy in Georgia. Did you hear about something being flipped, miscounted? Oh, votes being flipped and miscounted. I'm sure there's always something. Freedom says, go Carrie Lake. Said that a few minutes ago. All my folks over on Getter and Rumble, y'all have my heart, of course. Although, my YouTube people are also pretty great as well, so I won't ever neglect you. Oh, Corey Chambers has just ordered a Chandler Crump cameo. Get excited, your request is on its way. All right, I'll check it out, Corey. Thank you so much. Shout out to all my folks who are supporting me. I really appreciate it. Anita Jones was talking about donating earlier. I haven't seen anything come through, but the second I do, I'll read it out loud. And if it doesn't come through before the end of the show, I'll also, of course, read it out on our next show as well. I really appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with me. It's been a very fun show today. As you guys know, if the decision comes out tomorrow from the Supreme Court, we'll be back live tomorrow for a celebratory victory lap, as well as preparing for what the future of America is without abortion. I think it is going to be a great thing. Oh, Anita says, I remember that your birthday is in September. I've been excited for a year, Chan. You're very excited. My very first vote will be cast this November. Anita, I dropped all the stuff in the chat and in the description. We're about to wrap up for the evening, so if you want to save it, I understand. But if you want to put it through, I'll make sure to read it out, especially if we do our live show tomorrow. Either way, big thank you and shout out to everybody who was in here. Cindy Stinson, Cindy Stinson again, sorry, Can Native, Anita Jones, all my folks in here. Y'all mean the world. As you guys know, we do this live show every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8, as well as on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 for the Chandler Brief. So if you want to never miss a show, even if you have notifications on YouTube, try and set a little alarm on your phone. That way you'll never miss a beat about when we go live. Also be sure to follow us over on Truth Social, Telegram, anywhere and everywhere we are for notifications about when we are going live. But aside from all that, Thank you guys so much for being tuned in. Susanna Donovan says, sorry I missed your program. Hopefully tomorrow will be a great day. All good. You can watch the rerun or catch us again maybe tomorrow. And if not, you'll catch us again this July. Aside from all that, y'all have a great Independence Day, July 4th. Have a great weekend. All that good stuff. And aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence. Peace and good night.
Into the light we go.